There's something big in the air in Foxboro. Trade chatter that could reshape the defense. A tough locker room decision that stamps the identity of the new regime. A wideout finding new life at the perfect moment. And an under-the-radar name stealing the spotlight in the final reps. Today we're going to connect the dots, separate smoke from substance, and understand how all of this impacts Drake May and the Patriots' ambitions in September. Ready for a plot twist nobody saw coming? You won't believe what we've got today. So sit down, drop a like, and let's jump straight into the news right now. In Pittsburgh, a quiet drumbeat has gotten louder, and it could ripple straight into Foxboro. There's back-channel talk, cold-blooded performance evaluations from the preseason, and a decision that could land before the opening kickoff. On one side, a defense trimming the roster. On the other, a New England Patriots front seven still being fine-tuned by Mike Vrabel. In the middle of the board sits a linebacker who used to be a motor against the run, came off a serious injury, and hasn't flashed the same lateral burst. If the phone rings, the entire AFC pays attention. The name is Cole Holcomb. After sitting out 2024 and returning in 2025 without convincing the staff, he's watched Pittsburgh's hierarchy tighten. Patrick Queen arrived to command the middle. Rookie Peyton Wilson has become a staff favorite. Malik Harrison brings thump and length, and a certain edge nightmare named TJ Watt remains the financial priority. With fewer snaps and a depressed market, the franchise is open to listening, and there are people who believe it could happen before week 1. Why does that touch us? Because the post-overhaul Patriots still need a traffic cop on early downs who sets a physical tone and organizes the front in gap fits. At 29, Holcomb isn't the sideline-to-sideline athlete he once was, but he still has the instincts, downhill trigger, and experience to tighten the box and free the edges. In heavy looks and short yardage situations, he checks boxes. If the price is right, it's a low-risk play with immediate return. The pushback, space coverage, post-injury, change of direction, and mirror ability against backs on option/anchor routes demands attention. Vrabel's staff would have to calibrate his usage, manage snaps, base down emphasis, early play action diagnosis, minimal isolation in man. Special teams matter too. Close games turn on hidden yards, and one tackle on a return can flip field position. What about cost? Think a conditional day 3 pick with snap/production escalators. For a roster being built to compete without mortgaging the future, it's a sensible role. Pittsburgh's cap rework helps the fit. The fan base is split. One side wants a veteran hammer to enforce identity and shore up power run fits. The other worries about becoming dependent on a player whose athletic peak is past. The pro argument, specific role, low cost, instant impact on third and short. The con, declining speed when the game spreads out. Ultimately, it comes down to price, role, and health. One tactical detail, shutting down the run early forces opponents into third and long, where the pass rush feasts and the secondary squeezes predictable route concepts. More 3-and-outs means shorter fields for Drake May, shorter drives, and less exposure for the defense. That's how a modest piece can catalyze big wins. And that wasn't even the most surprising part of the day. If the market heats up, another area of the offense could get a boost that changes the entire chessboard. If the first bombshell already tugged at the fan base's heartstrings, the second makes it clear the New England Patriots are in a full-tilt transformation. The 2025 season kicked off with a heavy cleanout. More than 20 new faces arrived. A string of veterans said goodbye, and Mike Vrabel's message could not be clearer. There's no room for nostalgia, bloated deals, or low production. The latest example? The release of Jabril Peppers. A big name, yes, but he spent much of 2024 in the trainer's room, played sparingly, and ran out of runway with this staff. Vrabel has no interest in inheriting the mistakes of previous administrations. In the waning days of the Belichick era, Elliott Wolf signed extensions and deals that now feel heavy for the on-field return. The new brass looked at the locker room, circled the misfits, and swung the axe. Peppers is just the most visible symbol, but the names who've already walked include Bentley, Godchaux, Wise Jr., even Cole Strange. The note is simple: if you don't meet the standard, physically and schematically, you're out. And that creates tension. This isn't only about vets on the last lap. Players who still carry some market value, like Kyle Duggar, have floated into the rumor mill. Duggar inked a massive extension in 2023, but the production lagged. The stat line tells a narrow story. Plenty of tackles, sure, but no interceptions, muted impact, and a season complicated by a misdiagnosed injury. Fans are asking, could even a top-tier safety face the Vrabel guillotine next year? The dead money is heavy today, but the future is anything but guaranteed. Up front, another sign of rupture. Anfernee Jennings, drafted back in 2020, was shopped. With no takers, he's still here for now, and if a competent tackle pops loose on waivers, Vidarian Lowe could be gone too. The message is unmistakable. No one is safe, not even recent draft picks. Bladen Robinson, Javon Baker, Jaheim Bell already out. Joe Milton II shipped to Dallas for future selections. This isn't trimming around the edges, it's reshaping the spine. What does that mean for the Patriots? A locker room reset, far more aligned with Vrabel's style, but also a place where young players know they need to prove it every practice. For the fan base, it's a blend of shock and hope. Shock seeing familiar names leave, hope that the team is finally being built to win, not to prop up bad contracts. And let's be honest, after years of questionable decision-making, a firm hand might be precisely what this franchise needed. But hold on, because if the house cleaning rattled nerves, an offensive surprise has been lifting spirits in Foxboro in a way few expected. Amid all the turnover and cuts that rattled the fan base, an unexpected light flicked on in the offense. A wide receiver who seemed forgotten but is suddenly grabbing everyone's attention in Foxboro. While Stefon Diggs' arrival dominated the headlines and rookie Kyle Williams injected long-term excitement, one holdover is proving he's still got plenty to give. Kayshon Boutte. And it's not hyperbole to say insiders have labeled what he's done this offseason as stunning. Chef Howe of The Athletic called Boutte's summer turnaround exactly that, stunning. When a player with a history of inconsistency, flashes of talent followed by vanishing acts gets tagged with that word, something real has shifted. Boutte hasn't just restored confidence, he's become reliable in practice, impressing the staff, and most importantly, Drake May. Don't forget, last season he carved out a role and finished as one of the team's top 3 receivers in yardage, 589 and 3 scores, solid numbers for someone many wrote off. Now with Diggs and Williams in the room, the target pie looks more crowded, but that competition may be exactly what woke Boutte up. He knows he'll share snaps with Demario Douglas, veteran Mac Hollins, and even undrafted upstart Efton Chisholm. Still, he's sharpened his rote craft, bulked up and leaned into the timing he already has with May. For a second-year quarterback, having targets who already speak your cadence is gold. Boutte can be that safety blanket in the middle of chaos. Fans are split between excitement over Diggs and curiosity about how far Boutte can climb. Some social posts call him the true sleeper of the season. Others question whether he can sustain the level when the games count. But no one disputes this. He entered camp as a supporting actor and exits as a must-watch. The Patriots need playmakers, and suddenly, Boutte is back on the list. If last year's theme for him was survival amid chaos, this year could be ascension on a remodeled roster. And the most intriguing part? There's still room to grow. If he replicates in live games what he showed in August, he can become a pivotal piece in a campaign that promises to look nothing like 2024. And while everyone is buzzing about Boutte's resurgence, there's an even more unlikely name, a true Cinderella story who might win hearts in New England this year. If it already felt surprising to see Boutte re-emerge as a steady option, what do we make of an undrafted rookie who didn't catch a single pass from Drake May in the preseason, yet still forced his way onto the roster? That's Efton Chisholm III, and his path has all the beats of a sports movie arc fans love to retell. No blue-chip pedigree out of Eastern Washington, a UDFA deal with rare guarantees, and from the moment the ink dried, he's never looked back. Throughout training camp, Chisholm did exactly what the job description demands. He hauled in everything thrown his way, flashed strong hands and stacked yards after the catch. It didn't matter whether it was second team or third team reps when the ball found him, he made something happen. If he already popped without a single target from May in exhibition games, imagine the production once he's aligned with number 10 under the September lights in Foxboro. What's most telling is that the staff couldn't ignore the tape. Vrabel and Josh McDaniels realized they had more than a bit part receiver. This is a slot option who can be a third down valve, and if he gets volume, could even lead the team in receptions. For an offense starving for reliability, Chisholm is a burst of fresh air, and with a contract that barely moves the cap needle, he's pure value. The fan base has embraced the narrative. Some are throwing around the next Edelman, others a Malcolm Butler-style surprise, but everyone agrees Chisholm is the kind of find that makes rivals kick themselves for passing in April. It sends a message inside the building too. There are no reserved seats. Veterans feel the pressure, and rookies learn that opportunity is earned with sweat, not draft status. Strategically, the ripple effect is even bigger. A trustworthy slot unlocks McDaniels' menu, creates space for Diggs and Douglas outside the numbers, and gives May the perfect rhythm builder for quick reads. Every secure catch moves the chains and strengthens the narrative that this attack is different, more dynamic, less predictable than the 2024 version. The Patriots closed the preseason with a lean group of 6 receivers, but the key to unlocking this offense might just be the least expected face in the room. If Boutte is redemption and Diggs is star power, Chisholm is the spark nobody saw coming, and he might just set Foxboro ablaze in 2025. It's been a wild stretch in Foxboro, trade whispers on defense, Vrabel's ruthless house cleaning, Boutte's unexpected redemption, and the rise of an undrafted long shot like Chisholm. 4 chapters that together sketch a Patriots team very different from the one that staggered to the finish in 2024. Now the roster breathes new air, hungry, competitive, with real battles for every snap and pieces that can tilt games. The question is whether that's enough to put New England back in the AFC's spotlight. Drop your take in the comments, smash the like button, hit the bell, and of course subscribe so you don't miss a thing.